It's the award-winning Radio 1 Drum Bass Show with Fabio. Many, many thanks to Chris Goldfinger, blasting off brand new Blue Magic featuring SS, Mutated Forms and the wonderful MC Tali. It's Fabio. It's the Radio 1 Drum and Bass Show.
The home of UK drum and bass. It's Fabio on Radio 1.
Grime, heavy, messy, colour, deep and dark, drum and bass.
Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. It's good times and it's good vibes.
Oh yes. No other place for drum and bass.
Radio 1. Thank you, Sydney. Kicking off the show in big style tonight. Blue Magic, which is Mutated Forms, featuring Tali with the SS remix of that S. You rolled it out. I'm loving that tune. Big tune in the Spring Summer collection. And we've got a lot of good music tonight. A lot of good stuff, great content. We have got another packed show. Tonight, Blame is joining me in the studio. He'll be in the mix also. Radio 1 and 1 Extra combined together for the drum and bass chart for this week. D&B on the BBC, your chance to check out the other shows who are playing drum and bass on the BBC. Tonight we have got Annie Mac, the mighty Annie. She's going to be picking out one of her favourite D&B tunes. News of big things happening. We've got amazing DJ live sets from some of the biggest artists in the game. Well, the biggest artists in the game. So the next few months we are going to be featuring some live shizzle. My nizzle. We've got more of your Facebook shouts. And of course we've got some big tunes. As I said, the Spring-Summer collection. And from the Spring-Summer collection, brand new from 4 Aero. And New Tone, loving this. It's Fabio, drum and bass from the BBC. The award-winning Radio 1 drum and bass show. Tonight, we're gonna have it.
Always makes it real. That's the time the tears flow. Think I found a way to stop the pain, but it's breaking now my soul, my soul. Think I found a way to stop the rain, and I'm losing my control. Got to find another way to
Radio 1.
Starting off the show in style. The sound of 4 Hero, long time no hear. Of course, 4 Hero, Mark Macandigo, involved in some of the early stuff. All that incredible stuff Goldie was doing back in the day on Reinforced. These guys were a major part of that. That is the New Tone remix of a wonderful track entitled Look Inside. We've got it all going on tonight. We have got the mighty Blame in the house, a guy that has been going as long as the scene's been going. So lots to talk about with him. He's coming in around 15 minutes. And if you've not done so yet, check out the Radio 1 drum and bass fan site. Check out my video diary. Everyone from Andy C to Johnny L to Eveson, everybody's on there with me. We made a slideshow as well. During last week's show, we took loads of photos of us playing around in the studio during the show. Basically a typical night in the life of the show. Check that out.
The home of UK drum and bass is Fabio on Radio 1.
There's no other place for drum and bass.
I've got to send out some shouts tonight. Big shout out to Sarah Mitchell in Glasgow, Gary Collins in London, Tim Murphy at Aberystwyth University, Michael Livingstone at University of Sheffield, Justin Parmanod in Bristol, Adam Dennett in Leeds, Neil Armstrong in Plymouth, Lawrence Freeman Newcastle, Adam Crouch in Leicester, Dave Lee in Portsmouth, and Sean Miner in Walsall. Big up to you all. The Facebook is still going. I'm going to give you some figures a little bit later. The last time I was, I think we was hitting the 3,000. On our drum and bass site, I think we hit about 500. I want to see if we've hit the 1,000 yet. Because that's going to be big. And we've got the Radio 1 Extra drum and bass chart coming up real soon. Radio
1.
Straight out of LA. Sound of Atlantic's The Connection. Track entitled The Real Thing. Got some incredible stuff to play tonight. Some big tunes. Brand new stuff from Lynx. The guy is absolutely on fire. It's Fabio. It's Radio 1. It's Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Saturday night, it's Radio 1, it's drum and bass time.
Bass time. Come again, Fabio. Fabio, 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 Fabio.
The sound of Atlantic Connection, straight out of Los Angeles. The real thing. Sublime, sublime. We have got the Mighty Blame coming up real soon. He's got a mix for us. He's just told me it's the first time I've ever done an interview with him, man. That sucks. So we're going to change things around tonight. That's going to be real big. Fellow Tottenham supporter, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Right, we've got the official 1Extra and Radio 1 D&B chart rundown. Last week's number one was the Robocop. No, it wasn't. It was Cheater, Cheater, Don't Be Silly. So it's about that time now. Press those buttons, dog.
10.
Number 10, Jaydan, Gun Salute on Smokin, Riddims, down 5.
9.
Number 9, Optical, Electric Music, Kung Fu on Virus Recordings, down 3.
8.
Number 8, Demo and Cease, Ladies Night on Human Imprint, down 5.
7.
Number 7, Bungle, Where Am I? And Good Times, Liq-Weed, Ganja, Non-Mover.
6.
The return of Roni Size, Don't Hold Back, featuring Dynamite. TC and Distorted Minds remix from Mercury, second highest new entry.
5.
Shimon versus Sparfunk, The Smoker on AudioPorn, up 3.
4.
DJ Zinc, The Goblin on Bingo, Non-Mover.
3.
Friction and New Balance, former number 1, Robocop. The Taxman remix on Playaz, down 1.
2.
Number 2, Original Sin, Cheater, Cheater, Don't Be Silly on Ganja Recordings, down 1. Last week's number 1, that means we've got something new at the top.
1.
You heard it first on the show. Brazil, Chasing Status, now is out on the streets. Dimensions EP Part 3 on Ram Records, the highest new entry this week, in at 1. It's blasting off various artists on this. This is Chasing Status, this is Brazil, this is number 1, this is big. It's Fabio, it's Radio 1. number one this week. I think that's going to be number one for a hot minute. Chasing State as part of the Dimensions EP on Ram Records. Various artists straight in at number one this week. Right, I've been playing this guy's tracks for many, many years. He's been around a real long time. Been real prolific over the last few years, and he's got one of the big tunes of the year for me right now. Stay Forever. In the house we have Blame. What is up, Blame?
How you doing, Fabs? Good to be here, mate.
It's good to have you here because...
Finally,
because I'm amazed that I've never done an interview with you before, man.
Yeah, I thought there was a bit of a conspiracy going on.
Do you know what? It happens that way sometimes, man, but I'm glad to have you here, man,
Yeah,
after
good
all
to be
these
here.
years. And just tell us quickly what you've been up to recently.
Oh, man, just working really hard. Well, you've been hearing the tunes, you know,
real?
trying to launch a new label, releases with Swift on Charge, Hospital, you know, I've just been really grinding it out, you know, really trying to make some things happen out there.
So, you got some stuff coming out on Hospital as well right now?
Yeah, the track I'm going to kick the mix off with, Hindsight, has just come out on their Friendly Fire EP.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, so, and then a few little things, maybe fling Stay Forever in there. So I've just, you know, been working hard, just trying to keep things moving, because we're old men in the game now, Fabs. We've got to keep things happening.
Yeah, speak for yourself, sir. I'm oldish.
Yeah.
No, but no, you're right. And do you find it much more difficult to make it happen now?
Well, the love's still there. Like,
course.
you know, this music like goes through my veins, so I can never stop making it. But what it is this, it's so easy for people to make tracks now, whereas back in the day you had to like hire the studio out.
For sure.
You had to put a bit of a commitment down there.
Yeah.
But now people are just like, you know, get a bit of software, get a PC, and they don't really have to have the commitment that we used to have.
Of course.
So there's so much music out there, and it's hard for the guys to really hear the good stuff because of the sheer volume of music that's floating around.
That's right. You're so right. Now, you know, on this show, I tend to reminisce about back in the day a lot, but I don't think younger kind of people understand how much things have really changed, and you've been there since like the creation of this music, so you've seen the changes, man, and it is incredible how much it has changed and how much you have to kind of keep with the changes as well, man.
Oh, mate, and the thing is, you know, I've like brought quite a few old tunes that you were like running from 91, 93, 94, 95.
For sure.
And so people are going to be hearing the kind of, the journey we taken. But you're right, you know, the speed of the music's just changed like ridiculously over the years. But, you know, the music takes different paths, and you just got to try and stay on your path and stay within what you want to do with this music.
Yeah, because fundamentally, no matter what happens with the music, it is in our blood. It's running through our veins, as you said earlier. Listen, let's kick off with some music first, man, and we'll carry on with the chat.
Yeah,
the first track, this is the track, is this Hindsight, right?
Yeah, I was going to like start the little mix off with that, so yeah.
Okay, man, this is the first track. And when's this released, or is this out already?
I think it should be floating around now or just coming out at some point real soon.
Wicked, man. Blame, Hindsight, Hospital Records, man. What a combination. We've got Blame in the house. He's going to be in the mix a little bit later on, and we're going to be talking about the good old days. From past to present, baby. It's Fabio, the award-winning Radio 1 drum and bass show.
on Radio 1.
Wicked stuff. We have got Blame in the house. And he kicked off his selection with Hindsight forthcoming on Hospital. And that's going to be your first release on Hospital, right?
Well, me and Pedge had a little something out last year called Avalon. That came out on the Weapons of Mass Creation album.
Of course.
So, I might fling that in the mix as well.
Yeah.
So, this is like the second one, and hopefully the start of many things to come.
We've got Blame. We're playing Music Takes You, one of the early rave tunes, man. Big tune.
Radio 1.
This is Radio 1. This is Radio 1. It's Fabio on Radio 1. This is how we do. Fabio.
If you've just joined us, we have got the legendary Blame in the studio.
Good stuff, lads.
In the background, we have Music Takes You. Music Takes You with a wicked Seal sample on it, man. This came out on Moving Shadow, right?
Yeah. Well, not actually this mix, because this mix got banned. So,
of course, yeah. This was the original mix.
Yeah. This is the mix all you guys are running back then.
But listen, before we go on, we've got the Facebook thing going on, man. So I've got to say hello to all our international peeps. Big shout going out to Jonas de Meyer from Belgium, Matt Verone in New York, DJ Craft in Phoenix, Paul Burrows in El Salvador, John Linley in Philippines, Erdem Okan in Turkey, Marcel Vecchi in Croatia, James Higgins in Santa Barbara, California, Patrick Spearnock in LA, and also Edwina's Jerkas in Toronto, Canada. If you've not joined yet, be a part of it. Go to the page at bbc.co.uk/Radio 1 and click on the link to Facebook and become a member of the Radio 1 Drum and Bass Show fan site. Blame, I hope you took notes, sir.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you got to come join our crew, man.
Mate, they don't let me on Facebook.
Are you joking?
I've tried I don't know how you did it. I've tried Blame Music, Blame UK, Conrad Blame, and it just keeps coming back. We don't believe you're a real person. So, and I don't really want to go there, you know.
Oh, damn.
As
No, you don't.
John
No, you
Smith
don't.
or something.
No,
you know?
man. And you don't really want to blow yourself up either.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought I'd try it. I've tried it a few times. People keep saying, why aren't you on it? I keep trying, you know, no, like, access denied.
Well, you know what? What can you do?
That's it.
What can you do, man?
I've tried.
But anyway, listen. Now after Music Takes You, what happened for you after that, man?
Oh man, it all just went crazy after Music Takes You. You know, like.
Did you have offers from like big record companies?
No, not really. I think back then it was hard for people to get hold of you. That no one even had a mobile phone back then.
Yeah,
so
word.
unless they knew your mum's home phone number, that was it. You're in trouble.
Of course, man.
But what happened was it was just going out, hearing the tracks and thinking, you go, you get a little royalty check and like, whoa, what's all this, and you're just going out buying your GT Turbo and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so life kind of opened up, but then after about a year, you sort of think, you go to the bank and there's nothing left and you think, hold on a minute, I haven't even made any more tunes.
So, at this stage, you're a young guy, you're like, you're real young, and did you sit down and think, I'm going to make a career out of this, like 10, 15 years time, I'm going to still be in the game, man? Or weren't you even thinking like that? Did you just not think about tomorrow?
Nah, you know what? You didn't think about careers back then. I think that's a whole nother thing now, where people are planning out over the years.
Now
no doubt. Like, I'm just getting in the studio tonight, or everything. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but it was more like a week-to-week kind of thing. As long as you had a hot tune out there, you were kind of all right.
Yeah.
And that's all that kept you going.
Yeah, man.
Finding the next kind of beat.
Yeah, you're right, because nowadays people do sit down and plan their careers out. They sit down and think, right, I'm going to do an album next year. And them days it was so much more random, weren't it? You didn't really know if the scene would still be happening next week. It was a lot more kind of like, spontaneous.
The thing was, you didn't even consider it was a scene. It was kind of, everyone was just playing the music they loved, going out to clubs. There was a real excitement there. You could hear it in the tracks as well, because the arrangements in the tunes were kind of so different to what they are now. There was no real structure to them. They were just kind of all over. Everything was getting flung in there. But I think that was the whole vibe of the times back then as well.
Yeah, no doubt, man, for real. So, like, now, we're talking about mid-90s, and so where did your career, what path did it take after that?
Well,
man?
I just kind of kept plugging away. I thought, after Music Takes You, I thought, wow, this is easy. You sit in a studio for 3-4 hours and then you get a track that gets in the top 40. But I was kind of, mistaken. I landed back down to earth, man. And kind of, had to get back in the studio and kind of reinvent the sound I was working on. A few 12s on Moving Shadow, who I was with for many years.
Yeah, big up to Rob Playford.
Yeah, bigs to Rob. Yeah. And then just come with a few tracks, and it was really around the speed era that, the early heads, the Blue Note kind of era, that I kind of got my sound back how I really wanted it to, to be perceived by everyone. Yeah. And a few tracks, one called Planet Neptune, another one.
And Dreamfinder as well.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah.
Wonderful tune, man.
That's it. But you know what? I've got to blow you up, Fabs, for that one, because you played it first, but you always... What it is, you get every single track name wrong that I've given you over the years. I don't know what it is. I think it's some personal vendetta.
What was it called? Dreamweaver?
It was... all right, I'll give you another few goes. It was called Groove Research.
Oh, really?
But
I weren't even close.
Dreamfinder was another tune on the DAT that I gave you.
Right. See, well, easy mistakes to make, son.
You were close.
I weren't too bad. I weren't too far off the beaten track. You know what I'm saying?
But I sometimes do feel that you'd get a DAT and then you'd think, I like that track, but I prefer that name. Yeah, and you'd kind of marry them both in your mind.
You know what? If I don't like the name of a track, I'll name it myself, Like, there was a track I played the other week from Vapor, right? And I knew the name of it and I thought that name's rubbish. So I called it Cloverfield. Okay. And he was so screwy with me, man. He was like, fam, Cloverfield.
But you know what it's about, the playing the music, the names that kind of don't really mean a lot.
That's kind of relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's right, we're going to play Planet Neptune, man. This tune, when I first heard this, it was at a stage as well where I was playing really, really kind of, they called it intelligent drum and bass at the time.
Yeah.
And
I was actually quite surprised how this happened, because I gave you a DAT with a few tracks on.
And you didn't think I'd like this one so much, did you?
No way. And you were the first guy to play it. And what happened was you played it over at Heads. and I think Goldie and Groove and everyone heard it.
Yeah.
You smashed it on them, and then that's what, you know, blew the track up. So big ups to you for this one. I didn't think you'd pick up on this.
Yeah, I still don't think there's anything out there like this, man. We have got Blame in the house. It's Fabio with Blame. The tune you can hear in the background, a massive tune in the mid to late 90s, Planet Neptune. Big up to all the old Metalheads crew, big up to Goldie, also big up to Chris, big up to Storm. R.I.P. Kemi. It's Fabio, it's the Radio 1 Drum and Bass Show.
Radio 1.
If you've just joined us, we have got Blame in the house. In the background, from the legendary Moving Shadow, a killer cut entitled Planet Neptune. Man, that tune's still sounding fresh, man.
Yeah, it kind of slow though, but you know.
Yeah, it's amazing when you listen back how slow these tracks are.
But didn't it used to sound fast back then as well?
Yeah, it did. I remember everyone that never used to be into drum and bass used to say, man, I ain't into it, it's too fast, man.
How'd you dance to that?
How can you imagine people listening to it now, man?
Unbelievable.
Incredible. But so listen, let's get right up to date, man. You know, time has kind of like caught us up real quick again. So what you've been doing the last like 2-3 years, you've really kind of found your own niche and your own style, man. And you know, you've come with great tunes like Rush, like Skyline, VIP, Enduro. You've been blasting it for a hot minute now, man. And are you real comfortable with what's going on at the moment for you?
Yeah, man. I love music. I love drum and bass. I always will. You know, whatever people say, I just love the way the music kind of keeps evolving and growing and, you know, morphing into new sounds and new territories.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting time for me as well. So, you know, I just love getting in the studio making these beats, and I think I always will, whatever happens.
So do you have mental blocks in the studio ever? You don't seem to, man. You make so much tunes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
Do you know what I do? I kind of like one track I might make, more of a deeper kind of musical thing. Then I might, as soon as I finish it, think, right, I want to kind of get a bit darker now.
Yeah,
and then that's it. If I make the same tracks day in, day out, I think, I don't think I'll be able to handle it.
For sure.
But as soon as I finish one track, I'm on the next one, and it's on a completely different tip, which kind of, keeps me invigorated in this game,
And listen, I had Johnny Hill in the other day, and you and Johnny have got real kind of, you started out around the same time, you know what I mean? Not that much people know that much about you personally, and you guys have just kept on going over the years. And he was saying that he doesn't really wake up. He can't make music in the daytime at all. He's got to make music at night. It's got to be. Are you like that as well?
Nah, I'm the opposite.
Really?
You know what? I wake up now. Today I thought, you know what? My missus has been moaning that I never get up with her. So 6:30 I was up, hit the gym.
What?
Hit the gym early. I went in there and, no one could believe I was in there that early. But
yeah, that's real early, man.
Got back. It's a daytime thing. I like making my tunes in the day, and then,
really?
By 8, 9, 10
that's
at night. 8, 9, 10 at night, I'm just chilling, watching a bit of The Old Apprentice or something.
Yeah.
Watching a bit of football, you know how it goes. But
so you feel like for you, your lifestyle and stuff, it's better for you to do a daytime thing.
Yeah, because I've like become a bit of a, I wouldn't say a health freak, but I've got a bit older. You got to take care of yourself.
Trust me, man, I know that feeling.
So this whole like staying up till 6 a.m. just like in the studio, I just can't.
It is very unhealthy for you, man. Especially if you're really trying to keep your body in check and keep everything on the right side. You need to be getting up early and doing the right things on that level. Do you know what I'm saying?
The only problem with it all is when you're out of the weekend and then it's like, you're playing 4 till 5.
Oh, man, it just messes you up, man.
That's it. The whole week's done.
And now what I've been doing, man, I've been doing some late gigs, getting in, and I've got builders going on next door.
Oh, mate.
That is just the worst, man. You put your head down, you're ready for that sleep. Yeah, some pneumatic drill popping off and everything, man.
Oh.
You know what? I had to go and say to the guy, I didn't want to do it, but I was raging. I went next door, I banged on the door, and I was like, listen, mate, I've just got in and bloody, and I don't know. He acted like he thought I was going to come and kind of jack him or something, man. But he was like, yeah, all right, cool. I wasn't being aggressive with him, but I needed my sleep, man.
Oh, and there's nothing worse than when you're lying there and that's it.
Oh, or broad daylight. Oh,
it's like the other day I was in a hotel and I could only have like 3 hours sleep before I had to be up to the airport, and I got in and I don't know what was going on with the pipes, but it was like someone was smacking a mallet on the and I packed all my stuff and I walked down to reception and I was like, you know what, I've got to have another room. They're like, what, for like 2 hours? I was like, I've got to.
They don't understand. It don't matter. 2 hours is plenty enough sleep, man.
That's a precious 2 hours.
Of course it is. So listen now, we're going to move on a little bit, man, because we've got you coming up in the mix.
Yep.
Tell people about your MySpace. How can they get
hit me up,
with you,
myspace.com/blame720. Just hit me up, man, and send me a message. I'm always on it, checking what's going on.
And what about emails as well?
Same thing. I go through all the messages there. So, just hit me up there. And there's all the new tracks up online, so you can check all the stuff out. Always keeping it up to date.
Wicked. And listen, before you kind of like do the mix, we've got to talk about Tottenham. We're both like real passionate Tottenham supporters, and it's been another. You know what? Apart from the Carling Cup thing, right? It's still been very up and down, man.
You sort of are thinking, next season.
I know, but we thought that last year and the year before. Do you feel this is a fault stone, or do you really think Ramos has got something going on there?
Well, you sort of do think something, and then like the result, like the Newcastle thing comes along, and then you
just think, what is going on there?
Yeah. But it's a hard life being a Spurs fan and being a drum and bass producer, I guess. So.
Well, there's kind of links there, innit?
Yeah. We're gluttons for punishment, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, for real. It's a love-hate thing, man. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think next year is going to be a bright year for us?
I think it is, yeah. I am looking forward to it. I've kind of written this one off now. I think we all have. The whole mid-table thing.
And they have as well.
To it, yeah.
They're having a cigar, aren't they, man? They're on that one, man. You know what I'm saying?
It all went wrong after the final, basically.
I know.
They all went out partying.
China Whites, that's what happened. After that, it was curtains.
Yep.
But anyway, listen, Blame, it was really good to have you here.
Thanks for having me, man.
And we got you coming up in the mix.
Yep.
The first track from you is Hero, right?
Yeah, this is my brand new project, my label, Blame Music, which is kicking off over the next few weeks.
Right, and this is like a homage to Tokyo or something like that?
Oh, man, yeah. I'm a big fan of the whole kind of...
Eastern thing.
Yeah, the Chinese...
Love it, I love it.
Kung Fu films, that's me, like, all day long, so...
Wicked, man.
Yeah, I went in on this one and got all the, authentic instruments. It's even played in this, the Eastern scales and all that stuff.
For real?
So, yeah, I went deep with this one.
Wow. So anyway, get your stuff together.
Wicked
You're going to be
stuff.
up in the mix. Great to have him here. We've got Blame in the house. Remember, you're listening to Radio 1, the award-winning Radio 1 drum and bass show with Fabio. We've got some more goodies coming up a little bit later. D&B on the BBC. We've got Annie Mac choosing her favourite beats. But Blame is going to step up and he's going to do his thing. Remember, it's Radio 1, it's Fabio.
Radio 1.
Blame in the mix. Remember, it's Fabio, the Radio 1 drum and bass show, baby.
iPlayer, bbc.co.uk/radio1. Radio 1. There's no other place for drum and bass.
Big up to Blame.
Hey, thanks, guys.
I'm telling you, man, that is one of the best mixes we've had for a long, long time. That was a wicked, wicked
thanks
mix,
a lot, man.
If you want to get the track listings of what Blame played tonight, go to bbc.co.uk/Radio 1. Go to Listen Again, and you see the track listings for all the tracks played tonight. Man, that was a wicked mix, man.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Really enjoyed it.
Our front speakers in there are kind of crashed. So,
mate, I don't know. My head was tilted in all kinds of angles to hear that. So, I hope that's not the end of my career anyway.
Come on, man. That was incredible. So
Wicked
listen, man,
stuff.
what you got planned for the rest of the year?
Well, this track here, Stay Forever, is the big one really for me, blowing up at the moment. Charge Recordings, big one, big shouts to Swift.
That's Mampy's label, right?
Yeah, Mampy Swift's label, shouts going out to him. That's the next one coming up, so hopefully that's going to be a good look on there.
Yeah, man, and how's the DJing thing going?
Yeah, wicked. I'm really enjoying it at the moment, mixing quicker than ever, rolling with Swift, you got to keep, got to keep on your toes.
For real, man.
Yeah, well, it's good, I've had a few back-to-backs over the last year with Swift, so, you can't be taking any chances there, you got to be working hard.
No doubt,
so
man.
So, it's, I've stepped my game up, really, in that respect, which is all good.
Because he's an incredibly quick mixer. I mean, he's so fast, and he's so, clinical in his mixing.
Yeah,
man.
but what people don't realise is he'll just go and pick his dubs up, sling them in a bag, and then he'll go and do it on the road, won't even practice. And the other thing is, if you're ever behind the decks and you see how he slings his records all over the place...
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like he's standing on them and everything, but...
So what, does he recut dubs all the time or something?
I think he's got a few accounts with a few cutting houses because...
For real.
Big ups to Swift anyway.
So have you got an album coming anytime soon?
Do you know what? I am probably going to start working on something now. And now I'm going to have a chance for the next few months to get my head down in the studio. I'm going to get a load of tracks together and then see what happens. But that is a plan for the future.
I think you should do that, sir. Most definitely.
Wicked, man.
And have you done an album before?
Yeah. I've done. I did an album on Moving Shadow back in the old day, '92 and all that.
Man.
And done a little one on 720 a few years back, just which was kind of a collection of 12s.
Okay.
But pretty much nothing that I'd consider. This is a real concept album put together from start to finish for a long time.
I think you should, man, because you've got that real uplifting spirit about your music, man, and I just think, we really need that right now. Because, as much as I love this music, sometimes the music's a little bit too moody and too serious, and you play Skyline in the middle of your set, guaranteed, hands in the air, and, girls going crazy, and that's what we want, man.
That's going back to the old rave days, what we kind of we grew up on, though.
Of course, man. So, listen, we've got to wrap this up now. Is there anyone you want to say hello to?
Yeah, got to send a shout out to the crew, really. Paige, Swift, IC, all the guys.
The Miami
guys,
crew. They didn't go this year, though. No?
Miami crew? I don't think anyone went this year.
No, I know. The guys. But you know what? We've been going year in, year out, so we had to give it a break this year, man.
Yeah, no. I usually go, stays at home and plays at Swerve on Miami. So,
no doubt.
We need to link that one up as well.
Yeah, no, for real. I know.
It's a leap year next year, isn't it? So maybe I'll be down there. I think there's a personal vendetta going on. I'm going to have to sort this out.
You know what? You know what it is? It's just that I've had so much people that I've had to make pass through. But Blame, For real, after that mix tonight, man, it just kind of, brought it back to me.
Okay, wicked.
I need this cat back down there, man.
Yeah.
And so one more time before you go, Hindsight, is that coming out? That's out already, right?
Yeah, Hospital Records, Hindsight, Stay Forever, Batcave as well, which is just coming out within the next couple of weeks. I played that in the mix.
Wicked.
That's on Charge Recordings.
Uh-huh.
Apocalypto and Hero, which is the brand new project from me, Blame Music.
Okay, that's your new label, right?
Yep, that's going to be floating around over the next few weeks.
And what's happened to 720?
I'm still running it. What it was, I just decided that Blame Music was another outlet, because like you say, I make so much music.
And different styles of music as well.
And the kind of people weren't, I wouldn't say pigeonholing, but even shops are thinking, 720, yeah, that's that kind of mellow stuff.
Yeah,
and I thought, I've
real.
tried some different things, but it seems like I needed to start a new label to really get the shops kind of knowing what's going on each project.
Because it's 2008 now, baby. It's time for, it's time for that change, man.
Yep.
But listen, thank you very much, Blame.
No problem, man.
And thanking you for all the music over the years, because you've made some incredible stuff.
Thanks so much.
And I still think that at the end of the day, for a guy that's been going as long as you have, I don't think people give you enough love, man. And I just think that you are one of the finest producers out there. And I want some money from you after this.
Yep. No, I appreciate that, Fabs.
No,
All the
lovely,
time,
man. And you just keep on chucking those tunes my way, and I keep on playing them, man.
All the time, man.
Keep it Tottenham, baby.
Big ups.
All
Wicked.
Right. Many thanks to Blame, a good friend of mine for a long, long time, and it's great to see he's still got that enthusiasm, he's still got that passion for the beats. Remember Stay Forever, a wonderful tune that we've been playing constantly or consistently on the show for the last 3 months. That is out in your shops real soon on Charge Recordings. And you can get Hindsight on Hospital Records. You can get that out there right now. Time for some Kush talk. The Spring-Summer Collection. We've got D&B and the BBC. We've got Animac coming up real soon. We've got D&B Podcast. We've got that cracking off. We have got a lot of content before the end of the show. Don't go anywhere. It's Fabio, Radio 1, Drum and Bass. Saturday night, Sunday morning, baby.
This is Radio 1.
The sound of Mark, a track entitled Kush Talk. Sending a big shout to everyone that went to, I can't remember the name of the night actually. I was in Germany over the weekend to Bergen. Big shout going out to Ollie, to Telmo, to Simon V, also to Jurgen. Really good people, really, really good night. Night full of proper music, great crowd, and big up to everybody from that part of town. As I said, I lost my luggage. Well, I didn't lose my luggage. I lost my luggage at Terminal 5, man. It's crazy. We have got the spring-summer collection for you tonight. You know, sometimes we go gully. Oh, right. See, we're on the catwalk, baby. All right, stop taking the pictures now, man. That's what I'm talking about, you know. Show's got to be produced, baby. We haven't got long left, so we better get on with it. Brand new from a guy who's making himself heard on the scene at the moment. A guy entitled, or goes by the name of System. He's got a big tune out called Near Miss, a killer. We're loving this, man. Little hip-hop vibe on this. Send this one out to Randall. Forthcoming on Mac 2 Recordings. Mystic Relaxation. Straight after this, what we got after this, Phil? The podcast, or we got D&B on the BBC?
D&B.
We got a little bit of D&B on the BBC. We're going to be joined by Annie Mac. She's going to be playing some her favourite joint around right now. Straight after this, it's Fabio. It's Radio 1.
Take it easy. Relax into things. And we're all going to get along fine. Just relax.
This is Radio 1.
The award-winning Radio 1 drum and bass show with Fabio.
Nervous? No. Just thinking.
thanks once again to Blame. We're also doing some little video diaries right now. So if you go to my page, you will be able to see myself with Andy C, also with Johnny L, with Blame, with Eveson, all that good stuff happening. Anyway, we've been doing a little thing called D&B on the BBC because we've been upping the content on the show. It's a great little feature. And tonight, we've got one of Radio 1's biggest names, Annie Mac. Check her show out. Great, great show. Always repping D&B. And we've got her in the house. She swung by quickly to tell us what is her favourite beat right now.
Radio 1.
Hello, Fabs. How are you? It's Annie Mac. I'm really glad you asked me what my favourite track at the moment is in terms of D&B, because I'm sure you're already playing it, but it's always nice to hear it on the radio again. It's by Mr. Bishi. It's called Falling in Love. I'm a girl, so I like all that stuff.
Radio 1. Radio 1. I'm falling in love. About my bed, I'm falling in love. Oh God, oh Lord, so every day I get up out my bed, I'm falling in love. It's with you, girl. Every day I get up out my bed, I'm falling in love with you, girl. You girl, you make me feel so weak. You make my knees them start to shake. You make my eyes them start to dazzle. Every falling in love. On the Queen's highway, oh yeah. Oh God, oh Lord, so hey.
Another guy that is making massive imprints, Mr. Bishy. Of course, he's got No Matter What, and he actually loaded me up with a whole load of new stuff. I'll be playing some of that stuff next week. We had Annie Mac playing her favourite tune, and that's Falling in Love. She's a girl. I sympathise, Annie, I sympathise.
People do not realise how difficult it is being a specialist radio DJ here on Radio 1. I'm Giles Peterson and I'm always under pressure. I've always got to discover the tunes, I've always got to go and find the tunes, I've got to go hunting, I've got to go searching, I've got to spend hours on the computer, MP3ing, just to find something new like this.
I got something to say, man.
Something extremely rare like this.
We are a part of the loud minority.
I have to find something obscure like this. It's hard. Now, if you love it and you want to feel it and you want to support it, 2 till 4 Wednesday night into Thursday morning. If not, you can always listen again. bbc.co.uk/Radio 1. Follow the signs to Giles Peterson. I'll be there.
Radio
1.
As we mentioned earlier on as well, you know, we're going out live and we've got some great artists coming up live or recorded live for you on Radio 1. We've got to keep that real, got to make sure that's right. I'm going to be giving you the names of some of the heavy hitters straight after this. Something from about 3-4 years ago. DK and Kazra played something from DK last week. It's on the way, killer. Loving this, man. Track entitled Babylon. Many thanks to Annie once more. Remember, catch her show Friday night. I think that's 9 till 12, right? Incredible show, man. Incredible mashup of music. Plays a bit of everything, represents D&B. Also, big up to Zane Lowe, who does the same. Bigging up Mary Ann Hobbs, everybody that represents our music. And remember, D&B on the BBC, we scour the networks to find who's representing our music. And we'll be showcasing that every week. And of course, the D&B podcast, we've got that coming up real soon. We haven't got a lot of time left, man. A lot to fit in before the end of the show. Sit back, relax, and take this one in. Babylon, DK, Kazra, drum and bass. sound of DK and Kazra, Babylon. Big tune, man. Big up to everyone who attended the Swerve All-Nighter Creative Source business in the house. At the end, we resume normal services this Wednesday. Right. The Detonate Indoor Festival 2008, Radio 1 and 1 Extra will be recording sets from Detonate Indoor Festival at Rock City in Nottingham on Sunday, May the 4th. It's a massive lineup of DJs, and the good news is we've recording all the biggest acts, and you'll be able to hear the biggest names in drum and bass recorded live in the mix on this show over the summer. We're going to be bringing you the likes of Roni Size, the Mighty Shy Effects, the incredible High Contrast, big new name Alex Perez, the indescribable Andy C, and the heavyweight king Dillinger. We bring you in the 7 biggest names in drum and bass in the mix each week from May the 13th. For all the details, head to my page at bbc.co.uk/Radio1 and click on the links for that. Remember, that's Detonate, the indoor festival at Rock City. Big things going on. We'll be recording the stuff live. We'll be making it happen for you over the next few weeks. From May the 13th, that is going to be happening. Big stuff.
The Radio 1 Drum and Bass Show with Fabio.
Radio 1.
This is Radio 1.
We got it going on, baby. And also, we have got some, we've got Calibre upcoming, man. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, he's going to be spinning some tracks off his new album, which I think is already the album of the year. He's coming up real soon. Right, time is running out on us. We have got the podcast straight after this. Brand new from Total Science. Little track entitled Listen. It's Radio 1, the drum and bass show. Spring Summer, the collection. sadly, time is almost upon us. But we've got another feature to go before the end of the show. We've got the D&B podcast. We search for the biggest podcasts around town right now. Obviously, there's our own One Extra drum and bass podcast, bbc.co.uk/OneExtra, but there's a whole world of other podcasts out there. So far, we've looked at Hospital, Drum and Bass Arena, and also Digital Soundboy, but it's not just about talking about the podcast from the big organisations. So this week it's the turn of Future Frequency Podcast. The man behind it, Guy Andrews, is here to tell you a little bit about what's popping.
Radio 1. My name's DJ Raptures. Most people know me as Guy. I run Future Frequency Radio. It's pfradio.com. It started back in 2001 as a small net radio station. I started it when I was like 12, 13 years old. And I decided to kind of broadcast to my friends. And then over the next 5.5 years, it continued the live broadcast, but then it kind of grew to a more global audience, and we started to get on like more DJs. And then, as it's a non-profit website, we just couldn't afford to sustain the cost involved in running the live stream. So in mid-2006, we switched it over to a podcast service, and it's actually the first podcast service of its kind to offer a full roster of resident DJs contributing regular shows and mixes. It's actually a full lineup of DJs. Future Frequency has always been about promoting the newest of new talent. Many producers and DJs who have recently established themselves in the scene have hosted shows on the site in the past, like when they're lesser known, such as Hobbs V Heist, Liq-Weed, and more recently we've been pushing artists such as Mace from Planet Funk Records and Insight, who's had releases on Commercial Suicide, Horizons and Paradox's Outsider Records, to name but a few. We've also had a load of exclusive mixes by more bigger names in the drum and bass scene. For instance, we just had Desert Rat doing us an old school mix, and the next show to go up, which will be up in the next week or so, is an exclusive dub tape mix from Chris In Perspective, who runs In Perspective Records. The record that I want to play is by a DJ and producer we've been championing for quite a long time. He's from Brighton, his name is Insight, and the track is called Mystical Aura, out on Paradox's Outsider record label. I'm DJ Raptures from Future Frequency Radio. So come check us out, Future Frequency, music to make your commute that little bit more interesting. Enjoy the tune.
Radio 1.
Big up to Guy Andrews from Future Frequency. It was great because he was saying some real underground names, guys like Hosby and guys like that Zion Bass, who don't really get the props they deserve. So big up, Guy. Enough respect. Some deepness. It's Fabio, it's Radio 1. This is how we do. Radio 1. Well, if you've just joined us, it's too late. We're right at the end of the show. You've missed Blame with a serious mix, man. Remember, you can check that again, bbc.co.uk/Radio1. Go to listen again. You can also get the track listings to every tune that we played tonight. We've had Annie Mac with D&B on the BBC. You've just missed Guy Andrews from Future Frequency Recordings. Podcast Business. You missed some killer cuts as well. You missed the Spring Summer Collection. What's up with that? Many thanks for listening tonight. We've got the One Extra takeover straight after this. Then at 5, we've got Ras Kwame with the Mighty Wookie, one of my boys from back in the day. He's going to be in the mix. Also, American Boy, will that still be number 1? Will Madonna come? She's got the video going on now, so she might be number 1. And also Mariah Carey with Touch Your Body. I love that tune, man. So, you know, that might even be coming into play. Who knows, man? Check out the chart show this afternoon. Unmissable Business on Radio 1. So, wonderful stuff. Next week, we've got special things going on every week, but next week we have got the man who really created Liquid Funk, one of the great producers of drum and bass over the last 15 to 16 years, Calibre. The man himself, the man from Belfast, he's going to be in there. We're going to be waxing lyrical. But I am going to love and leave you with the biggest tune around in the drum and bass scene. Big tune by a man that we're going to get in here by hook or by crook real soon. He's got that big EP coming out. You know what? The intro says it all. They called him Machete. So until next week, I'm here with Calibre, the One Extra takeover coming up next. Ras Kwame with Wookie at 5. Big up to my producers, big up to all my peeps, big up to my family. It's been emotional. It's Fabio saying peace out.
They called him Machete. He knows the score. He gets the women. And he kills the bad guys. He was given an offer he couldn't refuse. Machete. 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 He was given an offer he couldn't refuse. He knows the score. He gets the women.
Listen again on the BBC iPlayer, bbc.co.uk/Radio 1.
Somebody make some noise for
He knows the score.
Radio 1.
Trust on Radio 1.
Trust Radio 1.